Hello, welcome to MyStartup TV. I'm your host, Major Sunil Shetty. Well, we are back with another episode of SwaRaksha, which is brought to you in collaboration with SwaRaksha Mahotsav 2025. In this series, we showcase innovative companies that are building solutions to strengthen India's defense infrastructure and self-reliance. Today, I am joined by Lieutenant Colonel Ashutosh Jha, who is the Chief Strategic Officer of ACS Technologies. Colonel Jha, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Sunil. It's a pleasure to be able to join you here. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Perfect. Colonel Jha, quickly, because every time we have an armed forces officer on our show, we take that opportunity to introduce them, get a little bit of background of theirs. If you can talk about, your service background and how, when did you join the current company in the current capacity?
Hello, viewers. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Ashutosh Jha. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at ACS Technologies. I joined the company a few months ago after 21 years in the Indian Army. In the Army, I was in artillery, and throughout the last 2 decades, I have served in number of parts of artillery, starting from gun units to missile unit to surveillance and target acquisition units. So I commanded a surveillance and target acquisition battery. I'm also fortunate enough to have served in a BrahMos regiment.
For all positive reasons, and then having served in that, you could relate much better to how what would have been their performance. So keeping all of that in mind, and you are with ACS Technologies, which is working in the defense sector. Could you talk about as to what give us a background to the ACS itself as to what's the company's background and how did it come about into being a defense company?
ACS Technologies was started in 1980 by three engineers who moved from IBM and wanted to start a IT company in India way back in 1980. So over the last 45 years, we have progressed starting from IT infrastructure company to different aspects, including now we have got solutions, we provide solutions based on AI. We have got a subsidiary which is working on Internet of Things. And we also provide custom-made solutions to different applications and different use cases. So we are no longer restricted to an IT company. We have got different products and services as per including IT infrastructure, security and surveillance, IoT, smart analytics. So all these sectors.
Give us specifically what is that you are tailor making for the defense sector. I know you are in IoT, security, all of that. Is there any specific solution that you provide, to the defense sector?
I'll cover it into two parts. First part is I'll give you the traditional solutions which we are providing. That is basically providing the network services to different defense establishments, including the shipbuilding center at Visakhapatnam, the naval dockyard. Then the latest INS Varsha project, which is coming up. So we are providing the security, surveillance, and access control systems over there. And we are also providing the network infrastructure over there. So this is the hard network infrastructure side of our business. Now coming to the convergence, we have got a second vertical, which we call as the convergence, where different technologies converge. So two of our products have been accepted by the Indian Navy, AI-based products. Our first one is AIC, that is the Automatic Identification Classification. What happens is that naval submarines use passive sonars, which basically they look here the sonar operator listens to the noise of the engines and then tries to identify as to what is the source of that particular noise. What our system does is to automatically analyze the particular source of sound and then classify it whether the sound that they are listening to is from an engine of an aircraft flying overhead, oblique a ship or a submarine. Then further classify it further, that is classified further whether the ship is of what category, what class. And then finally, our system allows us to identify whether that particular target whose sound you're listening to is approaching you or receding from. So this is one application. There's another product, again AI based, where we assist in rapid rapid identification of any mine or explosive ordnance which may have been left, sea mines, from talking about mines, sea mines. So when the sonar of the minesweeper moves for the survey, we are able, our system automatically picks up any signal for and identifies any mine-like objects. The beauty of the system is that all of us understand that sea is an unstable platform. So the mine that you detect today here, by next or third run, it will move by 10-15 meters due to current, underwater currents, other factors. So our system is not only capable of identifying it, but it also classifies and identifies, tells you whether the same mine has moved or something new has moved.
As an infantry officer, I know landmines are a challenge, but the way you put it out across, the mines on the high seas definitely are a big challenge because they move. So we understand that ACS, supplies environmental testing chambers such as ESS chambers for defense and aerospace testing. You also have partnered closely with Data Patterns since 2007. Could you explain the significance of these testing chambers?
There are different kinds of, all of us understand in military technology, the different variations a system is hardware is likely to encounter in terms of weather, be it the variations in temperature or salinity or wind conditions. So what our chambers do is basically create those conditions, replicate it in an accelerated manner so that the degradation, if any, in the quality of performance of that particular hardware can be checked.
Security and surveillance are important, critical in defense sector. Could you share how ACS is securing highly delivering a tailor-made, highly secure solution?
In fact, I can give you for security and surveillance, I'll give you two examples. One, a defense related project which we executed, which is already there in shipbuilding state of Visakhapatnam. So the access control, the networking of CCTV, the automatic motion detection and alarm generation, those things. Basically, it not only gives situational awareness to at the control center, but also allows you to react whenever something is happening to draw the attention. All of us understand that the person sitting at the end on a monitoring system is a human being. So he may not be looking at all those multiple screens simultaneously. So we also have this automatic alarm detection facility, which basically draws the attention of the operator to wherever a possible intrusion is taking place. So that is there for the defense sector and for the defense PSU, the shipbuilding sector. And for a pure defense application, the GMR Visakhapatnam Airport. So we are providing, our company has executed the project for access security and access control, and also provision of data and data channels, lowering the OFC and entire network creation that has been done for.
So, with automation as the forefront of ACS and IoT and analytics offering, how is the company applying these technologies to provide, solution for defense?
As we are moving into automation and especially the Internet of Things and automation, one of the interesting areas which we are looking into provide solutions is to predict the equipment life. For example, let's take the example of a ship again. For example, all of us understand that the present systems, if something goes wrong, you get an alarm. In the engine of the ship, something going wrong, you will get an alarm. However, our approach is more basic. What we are trying to do is to predict so that before you have a system going down, you are able to predict when the system is likely to go down. And the approach that we are taking is to analyze the sound patterns again of a normal engine at different load, different conditions. And if it deteriorates, how that sound pattern varies, the harmonics, the wave pattern, how they vary, so that we are able to predict the degradation and predict whether when a system is going likely to create trouble before it actually you have, rather than report that certain thing has gone offline and not working, our system will be able to tell you that this is likely to create a problem, so do a preventive maintenance. So that is the technology that we are currently providing.
Can you talk about any software solution designed for the defense, particularly where integration with a secure IT infrastructure and surveillance systems are critical?
Yes, there are a couple of systems which, like earlier, two products which I had mentioned, the MPAS, Mine Warfare Planning and Analysis Software. So the critical aspect is that our module should not be working in isolation. It has to work in conjunction with the already existing network of the Indian Navy, already existing software. So that compatibility, we have achieved that compatibility, including getting the source codes vetted from the cybersecurity authorities of the Indian Navy. So that part is there. Another solution that we have worked out is, rather we are working on, is the change detection software for imagery analysis. Now, all of us understand that different militaries procure different kind of imageries from various providers. And let's take the example of a enemy airbase. You know that there's also airbase. You keep procuring imagery every week or every month, depending on its criticality, and you want to know what change has taken place. So instead of your image analyst picking up the changes, comparing the images manually and looking for small size object and small size changes, what our system does is to automate this process, and it gives you a summary kind of a thing where you know that what changes has taken place. Now the critical challenge was to it with the existing systems. So of course we managed to give it in the form in which user wants to.
How such critical information, minor changes, play a big role in achieving that success, isn't it? Being able to hit through a small hole, in a nuclear facility is amazing. That talks about India's, the companies like yours are doing amazing work on the ground. So ACS is, ACS emphasizes on innovation and future readiness. What emerging technologies is the company exploring to meet evolving defense needs, keeping in mind, post Operation Sindoor?
Interesting applications is the area of drones. As you know, that Operation Sindoor was a massive utilization of both drones and counter drone technology. So we have acquired a drone manufacturer, and for us at ACS, drone is not a end product which we look to provide to the users. In this case, Indian Defense Forces. It is rather we see drone as a medium which will allow us to deliver other solutions. So we are not looking at drone just from the point of view of being able to provide a drone, but also to implement the network, the IoT, our GIS capabilities, these things using a drone. So for us, it is just a medium, and we look forward to integrating and providing different use case solutions from using drones and our traditional strength of software GIS. We have got about 30 plus years experience in GIS surveys. And so combining all this, so that's why I mentioned earlier that we are looking at a different head called convergence, where we look at the convergence of drones along with the AI, the software applications, new software development with the GIS platform, which already by the way, ACS also has got its own in-house GIS platform called GeoStricity, which is entirely indigenous with each and every line of source code being owned by us, and it gives a comparable performance to your commercially available multinational GIS softwares.
When as a country, you're faced with challenge where everything is, companies like you build, which is owned by the nation, and during conflict, that is the key point, isn't it? The turning point. So India's defense infrastructure is vast and diverse, from Siachen to Andaman. How scalable are ACS solution for strategic installations to field level deployment, and what localization strategy do you adopt to ensure adaptability across the different defense segments?
Yes, that's actually a very interesting question, Sunil. So the strategy, like initially when we come up with a solution, of course, the first point is to give a proof of concept and demonstration of the prototype. However, as we are scaling the solution, we keep in mind the requirements of the end user. That is, just to give a small example of Navy. So the latest product which we are supplying to the Indian Navy, there we are going to our product is going to be installed in almost each and every platform available with the Indian Navy. So what we do is we have made the system in such a way that it will function as a standalone system. It will be able to function on shore-based platforms using the existing naval networks, and also it will allow data analysis and interpretation to be carried out at headquarters using again naval existing naval information infrastructure. So scalability of product is something that we always look at. We also want our solution to be available to the end user, and not having to wait till the analysis is done at the headquarter and that it is conveyed to it. Rather, we would for again this is where our capability in IoT also comes in handy. We are into designing systems which have got edge computing. So basically, when our system and subsystems transmit data, it is not the entire raw data that is being transmitted. We use edge computing technologies to compute and transmit only the final result from the sensor, from the device to the network, so that it helps in two ways. One is the decentralization, and second is by reducing the data, we increase the speed at which information can be transmitted and people can respond. And that is
Every second matters, isn't it? In warfare, right? So ACS has collaborated with partners like IBM, Dell, Data Patterns. How does these collaborations enhance your ability to deliver integrated defense solutions? Or you as a company, you are adding to their understanding of what India's needs are. And are there any plans for further ecosystem building within the defense tech space?
Yes, so this is again a very interesting question. See, all of us understand that any company cannot thrive and survive in isolation. So, as per we understand the way technology is progressing, it is where it is headed. We are always on lookout for suitable partners. Again, through SwaRaksha Mahotsav, one of the aim of our participation is to identify potential collaborators, partners with whom providing different kind of solutions. We have got certain strength in terms of software, in terms of GIS. Now we have acquired a drone. We have acquired the capability to manufacture different kinds of drones. So we are always on lookout for partners who can collaborate with us and help us better to make provide better solutions for Indian defense sector. This is something that how we intend doing it is like I keep identifying the partners and then identify the use cases. Of course, the bottom line has always been that the source code or the IP rights should stay with ACS, should stay in India, so or an Indian company. Even if it is a collaboration on case of IP, joint IP or something, then we prefer to go ahead with the other partners being Indian, so that given any changes in the geopolitical environment, still our products and our services are available to them.
And as part of these collaborations, if you could share, have there been any incident where a foreign company thinks it's going to help you with the technology or understanding of the new technology? In truth, you end up teaching them as a company what India needs or Indian defense needs. Has this ever happened? That kind of a scenario?
See, not certain things. I would let. I'll just give you a brief overview. I'll not go into much of the details because of sensitivity involved. But yes, one of our defense customers, it was using a particular software solution provided by a multinational. So of course, that particular solution was not custom made for Indian requirements. It was a take it or leave it kind of a situation. So they were using it. Now, once they approached us and we realized we could work on it, our system is performing better than what the multinational was providing them. Of course, we cannot share it because of the sensitivities involved, either the company or the product. But then uh, the solution that we have provided works much better than the multinational solution, and it is exactly what the user wanted. And the best part being, since the entire source code is owned by us, so recently they had come up with some additional requirements, some new features to be added. We don't have to look outside anywhere. As the use case evolves, as the requirement of the user changes depending on the change in tactical or technical environment. So the software and the solutions that we provide that also keep evolving over time.
Aligned with the spirit of Suraksha, how does ACS envision contributing to India's self-reliance in defense technology over the next decade?
See, over the next decade, there are certain critical technologies which we see that we will be able to take part of. One of the aspects that we are looking into is leveraging our traditional strengths of AI and software, IoT, these three combining with the recent acquisition of drone manufacturing. So what we are looking at is basically autonomous drones, which a lot of people talk about autonomous, but when we say autonomous, we would actually develop the capability where once given a command, then there is no further inputs required from the command center, and drones go and carry out the task. The swarm of drone goes, carries out the task as we envisage it being executed, and then comes back. So this is the kind of technology that we are already working on, given the strength, our traditional strengths. And like the impetus that the central government has provided to the self-reliance in defense, and the state governments are also assisting various companies, including ours, in terms of provision of infrastructure, space, and other things for the companies to thrive. So, in next decade or so, we foresee a total transformation of the Indian defense sector.
Colonel Jha, I want to get your thoughts about the kind of work My Startup TV. We are a media house dedicated for startups and MSMEs like yours. We carry their work, their stories, their journeys, for the wider audience, and we are dedicated for the MSMEs and the startups. So, what do you think the kind of work we are doing?
Uh, Sunil, firstly, kudos to you for the kind of work and the time that you are doing, especially for this, bringing out the awareness. As I have always believed, like last 7, 8 months, I have been working with the various industry partners. There is a lot of talent available. There are a lot of companies which are working in this, especially the MSMEs, which are working towards realization and towards making ourselves the in-house capability. They are developing. Everyone is developing certain kind of in-house capability for various critical, be it the equipment or the software part or certain portion subsystems or components. The unfortunate part is that because of a lack of central platform, the awareness is not spreading. So your effort like yours, the startup TV and all, which are dedicated to the MSMEs and especially those who are working into the sector, in this particular sector, it will definitely goes a long way in letting people know as to what the others are doing and where they can utilize. So rather than everyone trying to reinvent the wheel or looking left, right for where the can I get components for a particular system that I want, it's thanks to efforts like yours, Sunil, that people are able to easily reach out to each other. So you play actually the role of facilitator, I would say, is the yours is the role of facilitator, and if this mission is to succeed, then your channel has to actually come up in a big way and perform this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that. Viewers, if you want to hear such interesting conversation around defense and defense sector and the companies that are making an impact through their innovative solutions and processes, join us 12:30 to 1 p.m. Monday to Saturday on our SwaRaksha show, which is in collaboration with SwaRaksha Mahotsav 2025 that will be held this month in Visakhapatnam. Colonel Jha, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you again on some of our panel discussions around defense and defense sector.
Thank you, Sunil, and I look forward to more interactions. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.